Well, hello there, magic monsters. I still need to figure out why my transition isn't working. That's a shame. I really like the transition, and now it's not working, so... what a shame. Hello. So, as I just mentioned in the Discord, and by the way, if you stumbled upon this and you're not in the Discord, come join the Discord. There's some nice people there, and probably some not nice people there too, but I only know the nice ones. So, there you go. I mentioned I could start with a preview of the jumper character here because this is being worked on right now. It should be out fairly soon. We just got some fixes in the animation that need fixing. Turned off the grass for this so that I can see the animations a little bit better. But this is the jumper character here, and we'll just do it. You can see it's not set up over here or anything yet. This is not even the actual material that's going to be used on it and stuff, but yeah, we're just checking the things like got hits. See, directional got hit, throwing balls at the characters. So that and locomotions. We have the run animation, the walk animation, the walk backward animation. We have strafing left and right. Look at that, strafing left and right. You can, of course, strafe while walking forward or backwards. You can't see them there. There we go. We're going to run off the play area soon enough. There you go. You can do all sorts of things. What else can you do? You can do some attacks. That's a cool attack, by the way. Have you seen that? That's a cool attack. Zoom out a little bit. Boom. Might be fun in VR. Chomp attack, swipe attack, and a back attack because he's got these back legs, so why not have a back attack, right? Dodging. Walks back, that's nice. Idle break. It's a very animated face. See? Good stuff, right? Oh, we already did that one. We have a taunt. Yeah. Blah. Blah. Yeah, see? Hop left, hop right. Put your front foot in, hop forward. These are some of the ones we're fixing actually here. The hops forward, because you see that movement after he ends. That needs to be fixed, and then the foot sliding too. Then there's a jump straight up in the air. Now, if you are not standing still, then, oh, and look at this. This jump needs to be, looks like we're going down a little bit every single time. So let's quickly fix that. What have we got here? Banshee, not Banshee. Still need to fix that one. Jump up and jump forward. Jump forward's the other one, but let's just bake that position into pose and press play again. How's everyone doing? I've got coffee. All right, so I always feel like I should start with the camera not moving, but then I just don't know. I always turn it off for my own purposes, but jump. There we go. That's better. So if we zoom out just a little bit. Now if we're moving forward and we jump forward. See that? So if you're moving forward just slowly, well, let's give them go back to center. Okay, so if you're moving forward just a little bit slowly, you can hop forward too, like that. If you're going backwards, you jump forward. Oh no, you jump in the air, straight up. That's nice. So there you go. What do you all think of Mr. Jumper here? Or Miss Jumper, I don't know. Got hit directional is always fun. Blah, blah. Yeah, so there you go. That will be coming at some point. But that's not why we're here, is it? No, friends. That's not why we're here. We are here for Game Modules V4. And specifically, if you go to infinitypbr.com, by the way, and if you do go there and you click the See All Assets, that's my affiliate button for the asset store. So if you do go there and buy stuff, I appreciate that click because that click gets me the affiliate revenue, which is always helpful. Right now, there's 10% off all orders of $50 or more using the code June10. And also there's a secret code. Put in the chat here. Secret asset store coupon code. It's in the description too. Is Unity LTS. It gets you 25% off, but does not stack with sale items. So if you're going to buy anything here, might as well save 25% on your order using code Unity LTS. But that's also not why we are here. We're here for the scripting docs. So click that scripting docs link and see all the scripting docs. A lot of this is focusing on game modules. There are other things like the equipment systems, like my support classes, and other things. So these come with the packages and you can use them in your project as you see fit. But you can see that we are migrating to V4. There are some tips up here. There is information up here. V4 is coming soon. You can see the version up here. If the version up here says V4, then it means I most likely have updated that page. Oh, look at an empty page. That page to the new V4 version, and the information is correct for V4. Most of them have been updated. I've been kind of just going down the list as one kind of does. Some tricks and tips. Yeah. And so getting closer to the end of the list here. And so yeah, I think we did the game item object stuff. Loots I have completed. See, I even put this nice little handy dandy chart here. Because loot items, we talked about this on the Game Dev Show. For those of you who watch the Game Dev Show, we talked about this yesterday, how loot can be very complicated, it seems. Once you start really breaking it down and thinking about how commonly you want to control it, but also let it be random, right? Because it's not fun if it's the same thing every time. Maybe it is. But in some cases, you need to control what comes out of a loot box and a loot drop. In other times, you don't. And in some games, you might have a system where there's a catch-up mechanic. If the player's not doing well, they get better loot, to help them catch up. Or maybe if they're doing overly well, you have a mechanic that kind of gives them worse stuff so that they don't get too far ahead of the average. That can all be done with this system, but those things get very complicated over time. So this system allows you to do custom stuff if you want to do custom stuff. Otherwise, it's just a very nice random generator that allows you to control things as well. I did mention, though, that I wanted to add a feature to this. For the loot items here, you've got this this one down here, where you have the attributes. And you can force some. I guess that feature's already there. I was thinking about the randomization, but yeah, but you can force a prefix and a suffix, etc. So you can force one, but that doesn't necessarily say. Like it makes it 100%. So I was thinking. So what I was thinking yesterday when we were talking about lists with Jason Storey on the Game Dev Show, I mentioned that my list code, which is part of the is it extensions, Infinity extensions. No, maybe it's not part of Infinity extensions. Take random. Shuffle. Yeah, so this one. Shuffle with the this code right here. Shuffle with the start or end index, and by default it starts from the start on index 0, but you can change this to some other index. So in my inspector code here, we're looking at the scripting doc. I can actually switch over to the actual project, and we can look at the loot box. What was I working on? Test, Goblin Boss. Can't remember which one I was using for the documentation. Oh, it was probably in this one. Basic loot box, demo loot box. Okay, so in this one. So when we look at our toggle here, we can basically force quality to be true. Like in this demo, we want quality to be true. Quality is damaged, new, worn, something like that. And I realize Windows a little bit, just a little bit too wide. Let me bring it back down a little bit, right there. Perfect. So the quality is, for this demo, damaged, new, worn. We've turned off broken, so none of them can spawn broken, but they can spawn damaged. They can spawn worn or new. But we want that for all items, so I forced that. But the other thing is, do we want to force so we will randomize the order otherwise. But the question is, if we had more things, so if we have 3 things here, now we randomize them. It could be in any order of all 3 of these things. Quality will always be first, and forced we can randomize, but what if we always wanted to have the prefix first or the rarity first? It doesn't mean that the rarity would be added or the prefix would be added. It just means that it will always be first and the rest will be shuffled. Maybe I'll add that in the future. For this test, I actually was not meant to have rarity in this. I must not have realized I had rarity instead of suffix. But yeah, okay. So that's that. Let's see where did I leave off? So we did the custom loot box algorithm getbook.com. Let me log in. All right, so switch over to the editor version of the docs because there was one small little issue. One of these was missing a V. This one was missing a V right here. V 4.0. Yeah, you can create your own loot generation algorithms if you want, because that's important for your game, I think. Yeah, it's important for you to control your game. Conditions. Okay, so this one's good. This one's not yet updated. So we haven't updated conditions. Quests, this is coming soon. I actually have done a lot in quests because I was writing it as I went along in some cases. All right, maybe not a lot. Looking at those empty pages. And voices, I've updated that script so we can update that. Dictionaries has been updated. Game time and time board, I think I already updated this one here, yeah. Yeah, I did this before. I went out of order because I was updating it anyways. Game time, V4, V4, V4. Time span, it's a new thing. Time span's a new thing. Property code, I can update this. This is easy enough. That one's simple. And lookup table, I added this one. I hadn't had one for this before. It's a very simple component to it. But all right, let's do conditions. We might be adding some new features to conditions too, actually, if I think out loud about it. So really, my goal here is just to update the docs, update these with any new code, update the images, and at the same time check to make sure I've updated the things here because I've got some new general UI, I guess, UX for the editor scripts. So let's just get right into it. We're going to go to conditions up here. We will look at buffs. We'll look at haste. Yeah, so I changed the look of things now so they look differently than they did before. So let's get right into it. All right, let's look at the main one, conditions. We will make this 4.0 overview. Stat affecting objects, which automatically set stats to compute when added, will remove themselves from the objects they contain them automatically as well, unless you choose to manually decide them when they are removed. I will have to check out these tutorials at another time. I'm going to put a note here that these tutorials should largely be accurate, but the UX has changed. So I'm going to put a note here saying tutorials below should be accurate, though they are from the previous version of game modules. There are UX changes, and it's really slight UX changes, and perhaps some new features in game modules for these will be redone at some point in the future. It's kind of a note to myself too. So I will check those out. Conditions are important and fun. So let's check out the script. All right. The condition script. Let's go to writer. Let me close other tabs. Go to condition. All right. Condition is a singular thing that can potentially do multiple things. That is true. The common factor is the name and length of the condition set for. Time is optional in case you want to manage conditions differently. How you utilize conditions and handle their expiration is up to you. But with game modules 4, it can be entirely automated. And really, I would expect most people would use the time system in game modules 4 to capture that automation because it's amazing. It's automated. You don't have to do anything. A condition box. Oh, did I ever finish that? I remember that. I don't think I... Box. No, I never made a condition box, I don't think. Did I? Condition box. Nope. I was... The condition box was like a loot box, gives 0 to unlimited number of conditions and can be used to provide multiple conditions to a character at once, or provide randomly generated conditions or levels of conditions. I abandoned that. I decided that you can just do that already by yourself. You don't need a special thing for it. But, yeah, we can ignore this stuff too. Really, largely, I can cut this out, but it's okay. We've got our help link to conditions. So now when you click this button up here, here, it goes to the condition section of the documentation. Isn't that nice? That's very nice. Also, if you click this button, it goes to the same place. So that's amazing. All right, so we got create condition. Do I need to separate that out? I've been trying to rethink the create game modules stuff here because right now I've just got a bunch of stuff in create, but I've moved items here, quest condition here, quest reward, quest. So I think condition is just by itself. So maybe yeah, we'll leave it for now. That's the decision I've made. Okay. So let's see, what are we putting in here? I've changed how much stuff I put here on some of the other things. We can actually see, what did I put in, like loot box? Just go straight to setup. Item object has just the basic stuff. Stat has the basic stuff. So yeah, I think we'll do the basic stuff as well. Since this inherits from module scriptable object, it does have the same object name and object type as other things. So for instance, these two things. We can keep some things. I've been removing this aspect of these. We can keep those, I think. We can keep a lot of this. There's some interesting stuff here. We'll get rid of those. But we will add up here those two. Yeah. All of those objects have that. Can you see all the way over there? Yeah, you can. Okay. So I want to make sure I can showing you all the stuff. It's not hot anymore. That coffee is not hot anymore, but this coffee is. This coffee is definitely hot. All right. Reset UID. Do we need this? I don't think the other. Oh, this is on module scriptable object. Yes. Okay, we do need that. Here, this is what we're looking at. Okay. Display name, expiration condition. That's what happens when something. Oh, I should probably put this here when. Oh, do we explain it? Yes. Okay. Expiration condition is the thing that happens when this condition expires. So haste has an exhaustion. So after you have haste, you get exhausted. So automatically, when haste expires from your condition list, exhaustion is added. So yeah. Let's see. Time, compute time. Okay. Blah blah blah. Private strings and such. Mastery level. Editor inspector stuff. Caching, which we might not use these anymore. So I'm going to do this and make sure that we're not using them. So let me quickly go back to Unity, look for errors. Okay, so we are using them. All right, do caching. Yeah, so we are using them. Ignore that. Compute time. Return the total time in game minutes based on the list of condition time values. If time equals 0F, then this is an instant condition and will be applied, then removed immediately. Let me just double check this method here. So this is the owner of the condition, because their stats might affect the effects of the condition, if that makes sense. Like maybe if they have a higher wisdom, then some condition affects them less or more than another character. Total time starts at 0 for each condition time. I can't type. My first typing in this whole stream and I can't do it. In condition times, total time. Why are there multiple condition times? I don't know. I can't remember. This can probably be a link expression. Yep. So we will just do that instead. So now this is saying condition times is the sum of all condition times. It might be 0. Add dictionary key. Yep, this one is not needed now because it's on the game modules. That's saying it hides the method of the same name because, yeah. But I'm going to zombie code it for now because sometimes I make mistakes. So we're doing caching on this, which is nice. This is just for the editor, yeah. Okay, that's what I thought. So it's just for the editor. It doesn't happen at runtime. But for the editor, we cache stuff. Okay, yeah. And we're using built-in methods for that. For that I have. Okay. Then can ensure one modification level. That's always important. And then all these things, set infinite, set, these are just for the editor. Okay, so this is the scriptable object version, by the way, not the runtime version. That's the game condition is the runtime version, so we'll touch that in a second. But there's not much going on in the script, really. They're just handling all these different things. So let me just go here to the setup. The object type of condition is the name of the folder. And the scriptable object is in, create one you'd like. Okay, this will create that. I need to replace this image with this. Do we show the inspector? We do show the inspector in that. So we will do this. Desktop. Date modified. All right. And note that names of condition objects must be unique. Okay, that makes sense. Inspector. Select your new object and view it in the inspector. Here's where you can manage all the details about your condition. There are multiple tabs, each provide specific stuff. All right, so in some of the other objects here, like this one, in that section, I've separated these out into individual pages because it just seemed more logical to do so. So I think I'm going to do the same here. And reason being, this is pretty long under this tab. So we're going to do a main settings, a stats, or will we do main settings, condition time, effects on points? Yeah, we'll do effects on, or condition time and effects on points, or maybe main settings, condition time, effects on points. The stats can be the same, dictionaries can be the same. Okay, so we're going to create 3 new ones here. I really do enjoy getbook.io. It's quite nice. I like it's pleasing to the eye, to mine eye. All right, so main settings, condition time, effects on points. Okay. Main settings. I think my keyboard's off by a centimeter. Settings. Condition time and effects on points. Effects on points and v4.0. A clickety clickety clack. All right. We're going to move these over there, but first let's just do this one. We're going to be looking at a new screenshot here. We'll just do this. Replace this. Coffee. Moving coffee to the left-hand side. Now, do you know what song I have in my head? Because I said I'm moving the coffee to the left-hand side. I bet you know what song I have in my head. It's not about coffee. All right. This is a condition in the party-based RPG demo game. Here you can adjust the main details about the condition. All right, so let's copy this to the main settings, and we will make a more detailed screenshot of just the main settings. Add that. There's been a bug in getbook.io where they won't show you the plus button. I wonder if it changes it in Chrome. Sometimes trying a different browser works. Getbook.com. Sign in. Probably have to remember my password. Ooh, or not. Have I used it in Chrome? Nope. Password. What is my password? Is that my password? Ooh, it is. Nice. Good on me for remembering, huh? Good on me. All right. Edit. Nope. Still a bug. Still a bug. So, how do I do a photo now then? Insert image. All right. There used to be a little plus button between sections that would allow you to add a new section. But all right, display name. This is intended to be potentially different from the object name, which is the name of the scriptable object. This name may be, or if you choose, this name may be different, which is the name of the scriptable object, the management script. game condition list will consider conditions with the same display name to be the same condition. If the condition does not stack, then the system will replace the new an existing condition with one of the same display name only if the level of the new one is greater than the existing one. If not, then the expiration time will be set to the maximum value between the existing and the new, and no other changes will occur. Does that make sense? Or do I need a diagram? Sorry if that was loud. My coaster made a loud noise. Lucid.app. I can make a quick diagram, I think. Let's see. This is my last one, so I'll try and make one on the same thing. So for this one, we have a process here. What shape should we use for this? Go like this, and we'll say add condition to game condition list. So that's the process. We're going to say first new condition named haste. So the first thing is there already a condition named haste? And I guess make this smaller and this maybe bigger and this down there and this white. Okay, if there is yes, then we will do something. If there is not, then we will do something else. Okay, so if there is one, is the level of the new haste greater? So there's actually another decision. Is the level of the new haste greater? Actually, does it stack? Does this stack? All right. How do we make this connect there? Okay, good. Does this stack? Yes, it stacks. Then we do is the level of new haste greater? We'll make this bigger. Would have been easier just to copy paste, I think. Okay. And we will do, okay, so if it doesn't stack, then we add it. So this is going to be add the condition. Or really this is like an endpoint. Which one? These are, I think these are all like commonly held shapes, maybe. I'm not sure how common these all are. Add new condition. Okay, and if it does not stack, then we add new, whoop, not that, then we add new condition. Okay, and then is level of new haste greater? Yes, it's going to be this way. So this is going to be a replace existing haste with new haste. And then if not, then update expiration time to greatest of new old, but do not update existing condition. Okay. Is this making sense? I hope so, because I think it works for me. And I hope I didn't waste my time by doing this. All right. So we'll just move everything over a little bit. Move this up as well. Okay. All right. So this is the diagram for conditions. New condition named haste. Is there already a condition named haste? No, then we add it. Yes. Does it stack? No, then we add the condition. If it does stack, is the level of the new haste greater? If it's not, then update the time, but don't update the condition. If it is greater, then replace the existing haste with the new haste. I think that makes sense. So now I will put that here. Okay. By the way, don't forget to like and subscribe if you've stumbled upon this and you like my beautiful face talking to you about coding with Gloomhaven in the background and my dragon duck. Excuse me, I should have muted. All right. Stack. If true, game condition list can hold multiple copies of the same condition, and the effects will stack. Level is meant to differentiate between conditions of the same display name. The higher the level, the more priority the condition will have, as it will replace lower level conditions when added to the game condition list. Expiration condition. If blank, no effect will occur. Otherwise, you can select a condition which will be added to the game condition list when this condition expires. This could be useful for swapping one condition to another. Imagine the example above from the party-based RPG demo game. Whoops. Shows a condition called haste. The expiration condition is set to another condition called exhausted. When haste expires and is removed from the list, exhausted is automatically added. So should that be a list of things or should it just be one condition? Because we could make it a list of conditions, I suppose. Wrong one. Let me just quit this one so I don't randomly load it. I think it's fine the way it is for now. Maybe in a future update we'll make this a list of conditions. It's not something anyone's asked for thus far. All right. Wow, for some reason, this is giving me an optical illusion that the arrow is tilted down. I don't know if this is doing it for you, this right here, but to me, this arrow looks like it's angled down a couple degrees. And I think it's because the arrow has the big ol' arrowhead here that makes it look like somehow I'm imagining this space is the same as the space between the tip of the arrowhead and the top. And it's not. This is less, but it's making me think like the whole arrow is angled down. Optical illusion. All right. Description. Can be used however you like, but is intended to describe the condition. Duh. And yeah, you can use it however you'd like. All right. Condition time. So let's go back up here. We can now remove these. That didn't remove everything that I wanted to. Condition time. Copy it. Paste it. Delete this. All right, we will update the image here. All right, wrong thing again. Here we are. All right, that's a different view there. Okay. This section controls how long the condition will remain active. The system is built to work with the game time module, which is down here. So we will link to that. Game time and game time and time board. But you are able to pass any float value as the current time if you want to control that yourself. However, strongly suggest you just use the built-in methods and make it automated. Instant. Let's do a header here. Instant. If instant is true, then when the add or transfer method is used to include this condition in a game condition list, it will trigger the effects on points and nothing else. Otherwise, it will be added to the list and also trigger the effects. Okay. Infinite. We didn't talk about that. If true, the condition will never expire and will be constant. This can enable you to control how the condition is removed via logic in your game. Yeah, so you can just have a condition that just never expires. It's just there forever. But it will be up to you to remove it if you want to remove it. I guess this could also be used for rewards, but so could item objects. This is a double option there, I suppose. Is it slanting down? It might be. Did I make this slanting down? Oh, yeah. No. Wait. Wait a minute. Oh, yeah. Wait. Oh, yeah. That's funny. Well, thanks, Stephen, for noticing that it wasn't actually an optical illusion. We'll just make a new version there so I don't freak other people out. That's fun. Oh, yeah, that's better. It probably didn't help that this one is a little slightly higher than these as well, which added to my confusion perhaps. But all right, there we go. What would I do without you? We'd have a messed up image the whole time. All right. Infinite. And then minutes. Minutes. The base time in minutes by in-game minutes is included regardless of all else. Beyond that, if the source or caster has the stat required, then additional time can be added. All right, that's a little confusing. If the condition is not instant or infinite, then, and does this turn off if we are either of those things? I think it does. Yeah. Yeah. So if it's one of those two things, then you can't even set this, which is a nice little thing, I suppose. And you can set the amount of time via in-game minutes here. The initial min and max values are used to enable a random amount of time. Set them to the same value if you would like them same value to remove randomization to control the value. Optionally, add a stat to the stat required field to enable additional time based on the value of the stat on the caster or condition giver, if he on the caster. Yeah, caster's probably clear enough, of the condition. Maybe we should define that. Go back to Unity here. So there's a tooltip here that says optional. If populate the owner, source not the target of the condition, will need to have the stat. The owner, the source, the owner source caster. We'll have to put a thing in there. So basically, like, let's say you're a wizard and you have the fire skill or something, and the fire skill gives the haste, right? You could then say, oh, okay, we have, or maybe it's going to be air. We're air magic, and we can then say that we're going to add another 1 0 bit, but per point per final stat, we're going to add just another minute, or 0.5 minutes, to the final stat. So you can now say that, and we can even then say might. Do I not have? Oh, in the lookup table. Oh, yeah, and then you could do an optional lookup table, where you can do a lookup table per value of another stat, which makes it get confusing. We might need another diagram for this. All right, so yeah. So in this example, we'll make a screenshot of just this. I'll keep it wide to match the others. All right. We'll explain this one by one. Put this at the top here. Okay. And we'll make a heading 3 stat required. Let's make these header ones. How about that? Okay. Optionally add a stat to the stat required field to enable the value on that. And we will say in the example above, if the caster of the condition, the actor who gives the condition to another, has the air stat, then an additional 0.5 minutes will be added to the time based on the final stat of air. And this is where we will then say hint caster, source, giver. These refer to the actor or other thing that gives the condition to the actor who then has the condition. This is useful to change the effects of a condition based on the source, such as a low level wizard versus a high level wizard. Hopefully that's clear. Okay, so that's that, and then we're going to add another one here. It's going to be heading 3, lookup table. This is saying if the lookup table is populated, this will add additional time based on the lookup table of another stat or the same one in the stat required field. You can have multiple condition time objects which we add together. This way, multiple stats can have an impact on the total time the condition will last. So, as you can, that's this button right here. You can have multiple things there. Why is lookup table only enabled if stat required is populated? Optional is populated, you can add a value multiplied by the lookup table output of any stat. So the lookup table, as a reminder, is you get an input and an output. So you can modify the effects of some number to another. Hello, Midnight Oil, by the way, and John, how are you? Why minutes and not seconds? This is referring to in-game minutes, which default in the game time modules to 1 real-world second equals 1 in-game minute. You can modify that. But the reason being, I think, for me at least, it's more logical to think of game time as in-game time rather than human time. That being said, you could set up your game time to be human time, to be 1 in-game minute equals 60 real-world seconds, in which case that would be exactly the same. So if your project is not, for this RPG demo, time moves faster, right? But in your project, maybe it is real time, like some first-person shooter or something, and every real-world minute is 1 in-game minute. In that case, set game time to be 60 seconds equals 1 minute, and everything will match the real-world time at that point. So you can choose how you want to do it in that, but we think about in-game time because that is the constant for the game itself, I suppose. So that's the lookup table. So when we go back to the haste here, we can see now we can look up the stat bonus, lookup table, add a minimum maximum times the value of some stat. Now this stat is, I believe, on the target. If populated, you can add, no, it's not. A value multiplied by that. So I'm not sure why it's hidden unless you have stat required, because I can understand how they work together, but wouldn't you... I think I see what's happening here. So in this... Okay, so I'm going to delete this. You could also say If they have the air stat, then they get the bonus of the magic point source. Or we'll make it clear for this. We'll say wisdom. Wisdom. So in other words, it says, let me add here and I'll talk it through as I type. This makes more sense now that I've thought about it a little bit. Whoops. In this example, if the caster has air, if the caster has the air skill, no time will be added per final stat, but the stat bonus lookup table will be used to link to this lookup table will be used to get a value, which, oh, I didn't put anything here. Okay. Nope. Need to add it. All right. Value. 1 minute, min and max are the same, will be added, will be multiplied by the output value from the lookup table. Lookup table and added to the time. And we will add a new header 3, multiple condition time objects. You can have multiple ones. Let's make that a thing, and then we will give a demonstration here. For this, we will remove this entirely, and we will say 0.5, 0.5, and then we will say no additional minutes. But if they have the speed, we'll say, we will say stat bonus and add another 1, 1, and 1 by speed. What was the demo up here? We should match the same things. This was air wisdom. So we'll say air still. And then we'll say wisdom still. Okay. So now we'll add these two together. All right. In this example, we have 2 condition time objects. One will always add between 3 and 8 in-game minutes. And we'll say the top. The first will, okay. And if the caster has the air stat, 0.5 minutes for each final stat. The second condition time object will add an additional object, which also requires the caster to have the air stat. add an additional minute for each output. We'll grab the output value of the wisdom stat from the stat bonus lookup table and multiply that by 1, adding additional variable minutes. Does that make sense? I hope so. It's a very nice way of making conditions more powerful as bad guys or other actors get better. And I will do my best to type correctly and spell things correctly. All right, so going back to this, we can now delete something. Where was all this? Here. So we can delete the condition time stuff. And then effects on points. We don't need that. We will need to update this. We'll fix this. Go back to where we had it before. And then effects on points. Looks like this. To just bring this over. I keep clicking on the GPT window because I like to click on windows. That's my style. That's my MO. All right. What does effects on points do? The values here will impact the point value on the stats affected. In most cases, the point value should not be modified by external sources. However, for stat objects used as trackers like experience or hit points, use the point value is helpful. In fact, we have, I'm calling this now counters, and we have a section now, counter. I think we have a counter. No? I thought I had a counter. Maybe it's just a section in here. Yeah, modifying points stats as a counter. Okay. So we'll just make a counter stats are often stats which do not which cannot be trained or modified by other stat values. Are stats which cannot be trained. And think of counters like gold or experience or bullets remaining or bullets, just bullets. These can go up and down and can change, but generally do not, yeah, and can change. We leave it there. And learn more on the game stat page. We'll just link to that. Game stat. All right. And then we'll add a new header. Periodic. The effects can be one time, or if periodic is true, it can happen repeatedly while the condition is active. You are able to select how often it repeats based on in-game minutes. So if we make this, do I have an effect? I do have one. We can do poison for this. There we go. So we'll add the image here. And I should have made it wide to match the look of the rest. There we go. These effects will now happen every 1 in-game minute. The values are similar to the condition time values, though you do need to select a stat available or stat value. So we will now show the greater bit. I spelled periodic wrong. There we go, periodic. The values are similar. Target. A target is required. This is the stat, which will have its points affected. I should put hit points up there. There you go. In this example, every 1 in-game minute, the hit points stat will lose 1 point. Use negative values to remove points. Pretty obvious, but specify it nonetheless. Okay, and then we also have the source, which is similar to the caster, which you can have another thing. So if we have, say, water magic, then we can add an additional negative 0.05 to negative 0.1 per final stat. Okay, we'll say negative 0.1 to negative 0.2. Interesting. In this case, min is actually greater than max. I wonder if the script would handle that. I think it would. Okay. We'll just do the whole thing. Source. As with condition time, you can have multiple point effect objects, each affecting different stat, or the same in different ways, but that's not the source. If the caster has the stat in the source stat required field, additional point effects can occur. Image. All right. In this example, if the caster has the water stat, then an additional negative 0.1 to negative 0.2 points will be added to hit points. This means if final stat equals 10, the total hit points removed would be 1 plus 10 times random.range or random be between, I guess we can just do between 2 and 3 with one constant and a random value between 10 times negative 0.1 and 10 times negative 0.2 from the water stat. Yeah. All right. As the values are negative, points will be removed rather than added. All right. And did I say a header here? Multiple condition time objects. I did. So we'll say that here too. Multiple point effect objects. Okay. And I guess to match the UI, these should also be heading 3, header 3. And that would be header 1. These would be header 3. Okay. All right. So that. Now we can go back here and remove from this. What's this? Max value in the single set value. All right, that was an update earlier. Did I remove that from the other one? And we need to add in link, page link to main settings, and nope. Page link, I need to fix this to effects on points. Can I move this up? Oops, I can, okay. And one more to condition time. Okay, move main settings up, move that. Okay, so now we've got links to that. It says it's auto-saved, but sometimes I've probably just been confused when I come back and I forgot to have merged it, and I think, did I lose data? And sometimes I think I did, but no. Hi, Jason Storey. Every time I say stat, you take a drink. I think I've had too much coffee. I feel like a little buzzy. Whoa. That coffee mug is full now. Mute. All right. You know, every morning, one of the first decisions I make is how much coffee to make. I wake up, I go out, I do my necessaries, then I go out and make coffee before I take a shower. And I always say to myself, how much coffee? 4 cups, 6 cups, 8 cups. Those are the options. 4 cups means I'm just going to have basically 2 actual mugs of coffee. That's 4 cups. And that's what I'll have. And that's that. 8 cups is on oh my God, I've got 3 or 4 hours of meetings. and maybe I want a coffee drink later in the afternoon, nice coffee. 6 cups is what I do like on game dev show days or today, where I know I can fill this with 2 of those cups and then have my mug with the rest. And that's those days where it's like, well, I'm gonna be doing something, but I don't need a ton of coffee. Yeah. All right, so now we did that panel. Let's do this panel, the stats panel. This is the actual stats effects that happen during while you have the condition. So we can go back to haste for this one because this has stat effects. By the way, Jason, if you're still watching, did you see that I now have search stuff so you can search for things by name? I finally implemented that. So armor. I don't search though I organize by the type, but I don't search by the type. Maybe I should add that at some point. But yeah, searching is now easy, so that's fun. So let's copy this. Go back here, stat effects. Okay, and I noticed I just replaced disease 1. That was an example, disease 1, disease 2, disease 3 of different types of disease where each level gets higher. No, I haven't seen your talk yet, Jason. Jason, can you actually send me a link to your talk and I will post it to everybody so that the 4 people watching can all watch your talk. Is it public yet? If it's public, and then I will also watch it today. I promise. Look, no crossing fingers. I promise I will watch it today. So on that level thing, where is level set? That's in main settings, I guess, huh? Level, yeah. So let's do it here. Hint. Level can be used to have multiple types of conditions with increasing impacts, base impacts. Imagine disease 1, disease 2, disease 3, etc. Each one may have a longer base time and negative impact on stats that are affected outside of the caster effects. Each one would have the same display name, but with a different level value. When disease 3 is added, if the owner of the condition already has disease 1, then the new one, being a higher level, will replace the existing one, and the greater impacts will be felt. Okay, going back to reality. Okay. You DM'd me again. Yep. Because this is our DMs right here. Yep. All right, everybody. This is what Jason's talking about. So we should all go and watch this later. I won't watch it with you all. I will watch it later. It's 20 minutes, and it's 20 minutes of great knowledge. And I'm going to just have it there for me later. Oh, Chris, don't get him started. All right, that was a good... Oh my gosh. All right. Let's keep moving on. Stats. This panel controls what effects the condition has while it's active on the stat values of the target, which owns the condition. Hint. The owner of the condition is set on the game condition object, or if the game condition is on a game condition list, then it will be automatically set to the owner, to the I have stats owner of the game condition list. All of this is automatically handled if you inherit your actor from game modules actor or game modules inventory actor, as there is a conditions list already included with all the automatic goodness that comes with game modules 4. So, in other words, what I'm saying is, yes, you can roll your own, but maybe you shouldn't. Maybe it's better just to inherit from that. All right. Owner. And then I can give, well, we'll just link to the game condition right here. Game condition and game condition list. There we go. Okay, this acts similar to the IAM object, IAM attribute, and other stat settings. Yes, it does. The basic values will occur regardless, simply by having the condition. You are also able to add any number of additional sources. If the caster of the condition has the stat, then the values will be included in the total. Otherwise, they will not be included in the total. No values here are impacted by the periodic checkbox. Nothing here will take effect if the condition is marked instant. Should I add a note about that here? Like if we were to say this is an instant one, should we say, oh, I already did it. The condition is currently set to instant. Values will not be set here, would be instantly removed. Therefore, creation condition group. Ooh. I should remove that because I, as I said earlier, removed the whole condition group thing. So this is going to be condition editor. Whoops, wrong one. It's quest condition editor. Condition editor. Create a. There we go. So we'll just remove that and remove those carriage returns. Okay. And now we will say periodic. Yeah, so that's only if, okay, that's fine. All right. Go back to docs. this another hint box actually. And then, okay, in the example above, the haste condition provides a 5-point bonus to the, or 5, we'll say this, condition adds 5 to the value, to the base value of the speed stat, and 0.2 to the base proficiency, and this is actually going to be just value and proficiency. As with other things that affect stats, you can add yeah, we'll just leave it at that. Where do you learn more about this? In the this section. Okay. Okay. That should be okay then. Dictionaries is changed, so we just need to update. Really, I think just the image and maybe some of the graph to copy, but it's I'll put some demo stuff here, I guess. Manage conditions. Oh, look at that. Something to fix. Something to fix. Okay, editor window condition, and let's open up another editor window. Editor window, say item object. All right, so these are both, aha. Nope, wrong one. This one. Okay, these are both editor windows. We need to make this use Infinity Editor instead and fix any bugs therein. Delete key. Do we not have a delete key? Has key. Yeah, I guess I add delete key to one and not the other. All right. Window conditions, no more issues there from that version change. All right, 54 was the issue here. Cached conditions of type. Object type provide is null or empty. This is game modules of type. Comes from conditions 53. So this is saying game modules object type conditions type. So we must be doing this debug.log. I'm using Gitbook Copilot, and every once in a while it's saving me 2 seconds, and sometimes it saves me 30 seconds. All right. It is indeed null. So we need to fix this. Let's go back to our inspector here. When I say manage conditions, it's supposed to set this type. So I think the issue here is going to be that we need to go to condition editor, manage conditions, condition selected, And in here, we are going to conditions type. What is conditions type? Set string. Do we have this on here? Auto select. Okay, this is where we're changing it. Okay, let me remove that extra line there. So if we have that key, then it means we're auto selecting the type. In this part, okay, conditions. Game module objects of condition, first or default, that has the condition selected. We're going to instead go by the UID. And we're going to say first or default object.uid equals get string UID. Okay. Okay, and if it's null, we will say debug.log condition with UID was not found. Perfect. Thank you, Git Copilot. And then we will set that here. Game module objects type is condition. This is going to get us a condition. So if it's not null, we should. Why is this? What's this type index? Delete key, condition selected. That's fine. Condition type. Why aren't we just doing? Oh, I see. We're never actually setting it. We're saying type index. But I don't think we use type index in that code. I guess we use it there. So we need to do both of it. Because we need conditions type is the thing we're missing. Okay. Well, we can set that outside of that, really. Okay, so that's the actual conditions type. Why are we using type index? I don't think we use that on the other one. Oh, we do. How do we do auto select here? Select a type. Well, this is much simpler. Should just copy this. Auto select. Selected type equals conditions type selected. Type selected is going to be modules object.object type. And so we will then say down here, conditions type is that. And then object types game module type condition. this is going to be selected type now. Okay, so our selected type is that. Get all the conditions, figure out what the type, the index of that is, and break it, then delete that key. All right, will that magically work then? I think so. Or not. Object type is null or empty still. Maybe I need to reload it. Yep, that was it. All right, but this needs to be updated because this does not look like, say, this. Yeah, these are the other ones. So this and this do not look the same. It needs to be updated to have the same design patterns, etc. So let's do that real quick. All right. We will delete that, not delete, but close those. Close. Okay, we'll keep the rest open. All right. So we added, what did we add? We added the menu bar up here. That's new. The menu bar is going to have main settings. And I think I'm not going to do stats anymore. Or main, that's main settings, manage additional options. I've always been kind of wishy-washy on what I should expose in the option to manage everything at once. Sometimes it's easier to do everything at once, to have a whole list of things. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it doesn't look good. Like the stats, I'm going to remove this because I've never liked the way this looked. So let's not do stats. We'll just keep main settings and dictionaries, and that's it. Okay, main settings and dictionaries. And that's it. And then where do we put the menu bar options? Is show buttons. Show buttons. And that replaces a very long method with a very short method, which I'm always happy to do. All that comes down to this. And we need a menu bar index. And then in our show main settings, we will say if menu bar settings does not equal 0, then we'll return. And then for the dictionaries, if menu bar settings does not equal 1, then we'll return. And we will not do stats and not do the property code. We don't need that. Okay. And the other thing is the size of the header here. So when we go to find main stats settings, we will do header 1. That's a new helpful thing I set up for myself. All right. And we will all right, we can leave that there. Where's the dictionary one though? Wait a minute. Why isn't it saying showing dictionaries? Menu bar options. That's weird. Why isn't dictionary showing up? Huh. Test. What is this? Ooh. Dictionary's drawer. What's null? So resetting cache for buffs, cache conditions of type. Okay, so do we have a reset cache on this? We do. We also have, it looks like, you just copy this over so we don't have to flip back and forth. Okay, so we do the same thing here, the selected type. And then we do the debug log. Then we have this here. Otherwise we do that. Okay. We're doing more, we're caching there, but that's okay. Interesting though, it still should be showing. Why isn't a dictionary drawer showing? And I would think the header would still be showing. Right, it's got 3 options in it. Toolbar menu, create the style. For each options. So let's just do some debug.log. There are that many options. Debug.log option. There we go. There is 1 options. That's not the case. That is so odd. Why is that happening? I don't understand. Menu bar options. There are more than 1 option. Am I doing this wrong? Is this what's wrong? Main settings and dictionaries is all we need here. Let's just save that though and give us 3 options. All right, something's up here. Oh, interesting. It doesn't update unless I reload the window. Okay, well that explains that confusion. I don't know why. I would have expected to do that, but maybe, I don't know. There's got to be a reason. I'm sure there's a logical explanation. Yeah. Okay, close tab. Open it up again. There we go. Let's remove these debugs. WB debug. All right. Dictionaries. We will do a demo called icon, add all buffs, icon all debuffs. All right, so what are we showing here? Buffs. And we'll add another one called flavor text. And show that one as string. All right, get a nice screenshot. Replace this with our new and improved dictionaries. Very much new and improved. Like most other objects in the game modules, conditions can have custom dictionaries, expand their potential use case for your project, set up the exposed key value pairs. That's no longer true. Expose keys by clicking the Manage Conditions button. Oh, yeah, okay, so this actually needs to go down here. And selecting the Dictionaries tab. Then we put that image in there. And over and above that, we actually go back to our inspector. And now we can do our sprite and our flavor text, and we will add a string. This should be showing as a text box though, didn't it? Show string as text box. It was working the other day. Oh, we have to add one. That's why. Provides a instant or a boost to speed, but be careful. You'll be exhausted when it's over. Okay, then we can show this. We'll ignore the migration option. So if you are using game modules right now, dictionaries changes, but I was able to build in a migration path for dictionaries in the current version with the new version that's soon to be released once I finish all this junk. All this documentation and other junk. Because part of documentation is I get to make updates and bug fixes and stuff that I may not have already found. All right. Yep. There we go. Manage conditions based on the condition type selected in the drop-down menu. You'll be able to see the main settings. Yeah, that's this button right here. Make it wide. And we'll add image. All right. And that should be good for this page. Merge that. Next is game condition. Okay. And let's look at another previous game thing. What did we put up the top? So now we're doing the methods differently. Did I update these? What did I do on the other ones? Game item object. Yeah, I'm doing it multiple different ways. It's probably not ideal, but I'm not sure. Game loot box. Don't even do anything there. Okay. Well, let's see what makes the most sense. Game condition.cs. Let's load it up. Game condition.cs. This is the in-game runtime object to use representing condition. Serializable. It also has a game ID on it, and that is another new thing. Do we mention that here? Do I mention that on the items? So this stuff is all important. And this is going to be the same concept on game condition. Owner will be the owner of the game condition list. This is in. If it's not in a list, then it will be the value of owner. The owner is the iHaveStats object, which is affected by the stat effects on these objects. Yes. So the owner is a parent list owner. Otherwise, it's the underscore owner. This is the parent. Get the condition scriptable object, UID, and parent list is the list parent. This is a unique for this game condition, unique in-game UID for this game condition versus the UID of the parent scriptable object, which will be the same for all conditions of the same type. But each in-game version will have its own game ID. Very important. All right. This is just a helper method to get the value of now from time board. Okay. Object name, object type. This is that used that way. Game item object. Part of the big update here is that all of these scripts, the game versions, will have a lot of the same common terminology. So all of the game versions will have object name, object type, etc. So that you can be more confident with the code, I suppose. Quest item. That's a different thing. Okay. This one has a special thing called source. What did I do on my game item object list? Did I talk about this? I did talk about these. Okay. So the rest is just like what's might be of interest to a person who's using the game condition. So yes, end time and next effect might be of interest. These lists hold the actual effects per stat affected, point value, and proficiency. It is possible to have multiple game condition effect objects. Yes. I think I'm going to remove all of this though. This just muddies the water on this here. So that we should use parent instead of this now. And so in fact, if we do condition, this one should now be using the parent. So all of these should really be saying parent.stack instead. So we're going to give ourselves some errors in order to fix this. There might be a few more, so let's hop over to Unity and check out the console. One more somewhere. All right, they were all in that script. That's helpful. I mean, is it helpful? I think it's helpful. It's easier just to do one script, I guess. All right, good. So that solved that, and that means we can remove it from the documentation as well, which I did. Yeah, so that is Dunzo. Display name, description. So for these, I will just, no, we won't put the semicolon there. We'll keep these so that you know you can get those, but you don't need to have the other part. Let's see what's expired. I changed expired here. Expired. End time is less than now. So we should actually give a float game time, which is going to say end time is less than if, and then we're going to say equals -1. If game time is under 0, equals -1, then we will choose now. Otherwise, we will do game time. And this is going to be a fraction, floating point comparison thing, 0.01. I mean, game time can be -1, less than 0. In this context, it should never be, because you're checking if it's expired after a certain time, which you'd really only use negative game time when computing like dates before the game started. Like if you want to get the age of a character, you get 18 years prior to the start is their birthday, that type of thing. So I think we can, we'll say this, if it's less than 0, then we'll use now. Otherwise we use the game time provided. That way you can check in the future and be like, it will be expired. And you know what, actually in hindsight, that makes more sense to do that. We will do expired here. And we can say will be expired with a float game time. Will be expired. Provide the game time. So if end time is less than game time, then it's true or false. So they can add that. Okay. Public bool will be expired. Float game time. This one no longer has that. Periodic ready does that, and this does that. Okay, so periodic ready if next effect is greater than now. So we now need additional ones here for will be. Public bool will be periodic ready. Float game time is going to be next effect is less than game time. Yes, good job, Copilot. And yes, this will be an uppercase B. All right, and we'll just put these here. Oops. Whoops. Can't type. Can't type, won't type. Public bool will be periodic ready. Float game time. All right, and then time active is just the amount of time that it's been active in game time. All right, and UID is never used. Okay, let me just make sure by going back to Unity and checking for bugs. All right, because I believe UID now is using we have the UID method instead. All right, Private condition condition. This should not be used. Is this used? Set parent. Yeah, this is the same as the parent. Set up, get condition. Let's see, this will return all the condition objects. This is old, I think. Yeah, because this is just getting the parent. So I think I need to update this. All right, let's update that. Let's see all the errors we get, and we'll make the updates. So this one no longer does this. Parent is set below. June 24, 2023. Parent is used, set below, right? Via UID. Via set UID. Okay. Parent dot point effects. Yeah. I think we'll check the demo game here to make sure things are working after I make these updates. This should not be used anymore because now it should just be. This should not be used anymore because we're just using the parent. We might have even more errors now, or none. Okay, so let's just check the game demo, make sure that the conditions work as expected. We have a few conditions set up here already, so let's just get through our first quest.
Well, huh? That worked. Okay.
Do you see this new updates to game time, by the way? Look at this. Now you can see how 8 hours, 36 minutes past midnight, hours until midnight. You can see the raw hours, and you can get the raw value, or you can have it just print out a human readable value. That's all new. All right, so this one will give us haste. And we saw the stats go up. This one gives us poison. Ah, okay. We got a bug here. Good. That's good to find the bug. No reference here. I wonder if it's the owner. Bug.log. Owner is null. Debug.log. Stat UID. Stat.uid. Okay. Let's see if the owner is null. Wow, okay, something here too. All right, that's a... Okay, well, that's a loot box thing. I'll have to fix that in a bit too. Yeah, all right. Let's again give her some gold to get through this quest.
Huh?
And
that
then...
worked. Okay. Well, I think I should buy a bow.
All right. Owner is null. Why is owner is null at this point? Receive condition. That's the list. Okay. Add to periodic. Compute the effect. And owner is null. So this is on the condition point effect. Compute effect happens here. Effects periodic is adding that. So in add to periodic, we're basically getting the periodic effects from the condition and adding it to a list of effects that happen periodically. Haha. And we're saying we're making a new stat modification. Open that script up. The source is null. New source should probably be this, actually, right? New source. Okay, let me think. Do we need... Why is new source here? New source is here because we might want to change the source at some point. I don't know. We only have it here. Source equals only there. Do we ever... ever use it? Maybe it's an editor thing. Yeah, it's for the editor. Okay. So going back to this or this, required stat value. If stat equals null. Did I change? This is poison. Did I change? I did. Okay. I added this water, and now we're getting this null reference. I'm guessing water is the 679 stat ID. It is indeed. Okay, good, good, good. So now go back to our conditions. This may have actually been a bug outside of this update. Maybe not. Let's see. So basically it's saying we don't have water. The stat UID is water, and the owner is null on condition point effect. Okay, wait a minute. Why is owner null? What is owner in this context? The I have stats owner. Okay, we're passing that in. So in this case, it's going to be the caster. Okay. Owner equals caster in this context. So we can say then if owner equals null, then return final. Otherwise, add owner based caster based effects. Now the question is, do we? Well, there is. Then that's okay. Yes, so that's the issue. This pillar doesn't have itself doesn't have stats. All right, so yes, this was a bug that existed prior to that change, I believe, and I believe we just fixed it by saying, hey, if there is no owner of the condition, no giver essentially, then don't even try to do the rest.
Well, that
And
worked.
let's see.
Okay. Well, I think I should buy a boat. See ya later, sucker.
I don't know why their magic went down. So we are gaining the effect on points. You can see the hit points going down there. Periodically. So that part's working. I don't know why her magic went down. Maybe it was player 1, magic point 0 of 2. Oh, I think, let's see. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so she must be a cleric, and then when she only had 2 magic points, but when we get poisoned, our personality goes down. I guess we're more irritable, and so she lost magic points from that. That's why that happened. All right, so periodic effects are now working. This is an instant effect that cures you, and haste was working too, and we should get exhausted right after. So we can see it counting down here. It's going to be very hard for everyone to see, but this is 1 minute left, and then our stats should change too. 0 minutes left. Okay, now we're exhausted. All right, perfect. And I have a debug here that we could probably remove. All right. Well, that was a good bug to fix, right? Now, where was I? I was just doing this. Oh, yeah. I had cleared out. I have to fix that loot box bug. I had cleared out the whole... all this stuff. Okay. All right, don't need to do those. Don't need to do those. All right. That, I believe, is all we need to expose there. Let's look at the constructor. Pass in the condition and the target, which implements I have condition source, which implements I have stats. Often actor and implement both. The owner of the condition will be set to the target provided. You also pass the current game time, which is required. We should put a note here, though, that... Or do I even put the constructor on the other ones? I do. Yeah. It's a note as a reminder, basically. This is all handled automatically if you inherit from game modules actor. Where's the note or hint? If your actor inherits inherits from game modules actor, then all of this is handled automatically. All right. The constructor looks different though now. We just changed it. It now has dictionaries. Oops. So it's really just getting rid of this line. We've changed this and all this. So we'll just kind of paste that in. Okay. And we'll clean this up. Okay. Methods. All right, game condition exclusive by game condition list. While you need to call these, while you can call these methods manually, if you utilize the game condition list, you will not need to. And of course, up here, if you inherit from that, it's all automatic too. Yeah, I mean, really, these are the main ones that people might try to call. So I'm going to remove the rest. You could add extra by just calling those, and they would do the actions. They wouldn't stop the automation, but they would automatically do that. So if you had like another buff, right, that doubles the point actions of something. This is if you're thinking like Hearthstone or something, a card thing where you have a special thing that multiplies the battle cries. You could do that and then manually trigger the point actions multiple times, stuff like that. All right, game condition list. So this is for our list. We've there's a whole nother section for lists up here. So all the common stuff is going to be up here. All these get methods. And then for game condition list, the special get methods for game condition list are up there. And then special things for game condition list is here as well. Anything that's outside of the scope of things. So what do we say down here then? For game item object list, we just say some helpful methods. I think we can just do, we should put some links. Yeah, because all of these, like first condition, last condition should be up here in first and last. Yeah. So you don't need to, there's no special. This is part of this update is making these, every single one of these lists has these methods on it. So, okay, so I'm going to replace all of this. We don't do the ticks anymore. Just delete all of this. Delete, delete, delete. There we go. Delete, paste. This is a list, game condition. Just some helpful methods. Yeah, runtime, maybe multiple lists. You can vary a list of game condition data, such as game condition list conditions. There's a new game condition list. And you could have one called maybe permanent permanent conditions, awards, perhaps awards are permanent conditions that have periodic effects, but are handled differently in other aspects of your game, like the UI, than the main conditions list. You know, because if you like, let's say you get some award that gives you, I don't know, +1 gold every 5 in-game minutes or something. You could put that in your awards game condition list, and then your UX can like display those differently. You don't have to do any parsing between the main conditions and the awards, and you can display them differently. Maybe you display the information about them differently and stuff. So you can do different things like that. Both game modules actor and inventory actor have a conditions list. You can choose. You can use this list, and everything will be handled automatically. There we go. And then we should put a list, a link to all of these other things. So we're going to put a list, page link to game module lists, game module lists. And we're going to copy that and just add that to the top of all of these, really, just to make sure folks see the main section for all things lists. Why did loot go here? It's weird. I must have accidentally moved it. Okay. Loot doesn't have a list like the rest do. All right, code examples. Before coming soon. We have no code examples yet. All right, there we go. So that's conditions. Check. I have a bug to fix. On the loot, must have introduced a bug and forgot to check the demo scene. And then what else do we have? Quests. We have to flesh out all of that. Update voices. I made some updates to the voices module, I think. Dictionaries just needs to be updated as well. This one is updated. So property code. Let me just edit this one real quick. So this one is now, everything's automatic. So I think, let's see. Property code feature will export a script properties.cs, which contains an easy to reference set of properties leading to the UID and scriptable objects for each of the game module objects. Stat, condition, item, object, etc. You can access the property code window via that. I don't think, do I even have that? I may have removed that because you don't need to do that anymore. Let's see, window, game modules, property code. I do. Do we need this? Secure property, blah, 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 blah. I guess we can keep this. Important to use like object names. Yeah. This is the only real thing here. So I guess we can flesh this out a little bit more. We'll add this here. If yes, auto export is toggled on, the properties.cs script will be automatically updated as you create and manage your game module objects. However, you can manually update the script by simply clicking on the the button to by simply clicking the export now button. All right. Exporting means overwriting the existing script. Best practice is not to modify that to avoid any issues. Each time you create a new item object, blah, 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 or you change their name, type, or UID, changing the UID is not advised. You will need to re-export the property script. If auto export is not true. If you're using it in your project and names or types change, you will need to update the code where you use the old name. That is true. Using the code. This is an example of how the script will look when exported. It may not be formatted, at least right now. Try deleting the last that in the script prompt writer or your application to format it correctly. These are classes for each type has a static class. The repository prefabs are required for this to work. Be sure to include those in your scene as a reminder. We can actually link to that. Repositories. As a reminder, the scriptable objects should not be edited at runtime. Use the game version. Yes. Property code makes it easier to stay in the zone when scripting your project. Here's an example of 2 ways getting a stat from the game stats list script. Second example uses the property code. Let's see. I might need to update these. This works perfectly fine. Paste the UID of the stat and no need to worry about name changes. Okay, this also works perfectly fine. No need to look up the stat and click the copy button by the UID. But if the name changes, this will need to be updated. Property stats, hidden stats, can shoot UID. We should probably make it the same. Range, distance, return 0f, and return a float. Otherwise, return the final stat. All right, so those are the same things. One uses the UID, the other one uses this property code. Range, distance, UID. Okay. More examples. Accuracy equals property get accuracy use final stat. Okay. Private float get range damage max plus range damage shoot UID times that plus that. Okay, that should work. Those work. Okay, so the property code is done. So now it's just dictionaries, voices, and quests. Great. I'm going to take a break. Then I'm going to fix that. Then I'm going to go buy... what do I need? My back tire of my e-bike was flat, and to remove the gears and stuff, I need a new tool, a socket wrench. which I don't have. So I'm about to have a socket wrench. I'm going to go buy one. All right, so that's it. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. I do hope you enjoyed watching me do stuff on my computer. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join the Discord and hang out. And I will see you all real soon. Thank you. Where's my button?